Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 1 month postpartum update. I think in the future for these updates I'm just going to include the baby update and the postpartum update because I really don't have that much to share with you today, so I'm hoping this video is quite short. I'm just going to jump right in and talk about my weight loss so far. So I'm currently 151 pounds. I was 170 pounds at delivery, so I've lost a total of 19. But I do have 14 more pounds to lose before I'm at my pre-pregnancy baby weight for this pregnancy. Ideally, I would like to lose probably about 25 pounds before I'm back to feeling really good about my body. Not that I'm feeling bad now, but just 151 pounds is a lot for me personally. I'm not quite comfortable with that number. It's not about the number, it's about how you're feeling, and I am feeling really good. I am fitting into some of my pre-pregnancy clothes, but not all, especially jeans. I have a couple of jeans that were looser fitting that do fit me now more tightly. We are still exclusively breastfeeding, and I actually have quite the frozen stash already at 1 month, a full bin in my deep freezer, which I'm not really sure what to do with. If you are a breastfeeding mama and have a stash of frozen milk as well, what do you plan on, or plan what do you do with it? Eventually I would like for him to take a bottle, but then take a bottle from his dad or from family members so we can have a date night maybe eventually. But I feel like I'm already building up such a huge stockpile that I don't know if I will ever need that much. But I'm just gonna keep adding to it as I feel I need to. I typically only pump when I'm feeling really uncomfortable or engorged on both sides, and I nurse on one side and pump on the other while he's nursing. I'm not actively trying to build up my stash, but when I do that, I don't want to just dump it down the sink, if that makes sense. My bleeding has pretty much stopped. I feel pretty good in terms of my 2nd-degree tear with my stitches, etc. If you hear any grunting, that's because Emmett is in front of my lap right here, between me and the camera, so I hope that's not too loud. I don't have my personal doctor's appointment until 6 weeks postpartum to see if everything is going good and get the all clear to start exercising and stuff, which I wish that we could go for walks and stuff, but it's still pretty cold outside, cold for a newborn. And also with recent global events, we are staying inside as much as possible, and that includes, yes, you don't get it from just walking around outside, but I don't want to be going out for a walk and come in contact with other people on the roads and stuff. Last week I did have the beginnings of mastitis, which is a really painful inflammatory infection basically, and I was going to go to the doctor for it, but thought I would give it a couple days because I had mastitis with Wyatt and it was excruciatingly painful, and I wasn't feeling like that. It was just really sore. It was painful, but it wasn't so bad I felt like I had to go to the hospital for it yet. So I ended up getting through it in about 12 hours with power pumping, which you pump as much as you can as often as possible. So it might have been a clogged milk duct that was starting to get infected, and I was able to clear that out on its own without any antibiotics. And while I was feeling that, it was on my right side. My left side, I've been dealing, this is going to be TMI. I don't know why you'd be watching postpartum updates if you weren't either coming up to delivery or you're postpartum with as well, unless you just watch me because you really like me. I know a lot of you have come over from my beauty channel. Anyways, this might be TMI. Sorry. On my left side, I've been dealing with horrible cracked nipples, and I have never experienced it like this before. I did have a few cracks with both Max and Wyatt that healed pretty quickly. This has been consistent, open, bleeding, cracks, and it's so painful. I don't understand why they won't heal. I've tried everything, but like the different creams, putting breast milk on it, only pumping on this side, nursing him like twice as much on the right side. I've tried everything. So that is still an ongoing issue. He has no latch issues on the other side, and my other kids didn't have latch issues. So I'm not really sure what the underlying problem is, but hopefully that gets resolved soon. With Wyatt, breastfeeding became like exponentially easier at the 6-week mark, so I'm just counting down the days until then. It feels much better than it did a week ago, so it must be healing some. I had one huge crack that was like a wide open wound, and that one has healed. Now I just have a couple of smaller cracks I'm dealing with. But I did want to mention products in these videos that have helped me through my postpartum journey, and I forgot to grab it, so I'll just insert a picture. But those are the Lancino nipple shields. I have never used nipple shields before with my other children, but I tried everything until I just broke down and bought them. I was avoiding buying them because it's essentially has the same effects as if I were to just pump and give him a bottle, in terms of like maybe him having trouble relatching on when I decided I didn't need it anymore, because it's kind of like a bottle tip on the nipple shield, if that makes sense. So they recommend not switching from like breast to bottle constantly unless you have to when they're this small, because they can get nipple confusion, and that's what I was worried about with the nipple shield, is like then wanting to not use it and have him not latch good after that, if that makes sense. But so far I've been able to use a shield on the cracked side and then not on the other side, and he has been doing perfectly fine. And I also don't use the nipple shield all the time on the left side either, but when the cracks are like really open and bleeding, it's good to have that option to ease the pain a little bit. It doesn't help like 100%, it still does hurt, but it's just less so. And then I feel like he's not pulling at the tender skin itself, so I'm hoping that'll help them heal faster. But to keep him from getting nipple confusion, I haven't been using it like each and every time, if that makes sense. So if you are dealing with like some painful breastfeeding issues, then definitely don't be scared to give nipple shields a try. I don't know why I was so worried about it. I don't know, I just would have rathered like push through it and get over it and have things toughen up, but it just wasn't happening, and it was making like me miserable 24/7, because even having a bra on, it was hurting. Even jumping in the shower, it was hurting. Nursing him was excruciatingly painful, and it just makes the whole experience unpleasant, probably for both of us, because I'm like stiff as a board trying to feed him and not cry. So hopefully that resolves itself soon. It's obviously healing if the worst of the cracks or cuts or whatever you'd like to call them have healed. Things are obviously getting better, but that is definitely a significant issue that I've been having postpartum since my last update. I also do want to show you like what my belly is looking like now that we are a month postpartum. I feel like things haven't changed that much, but I have lost an additional 4 pounds since my last update, and I am feeling pretty good. So I do want to just put in a quick clip of how I'm healing, like from what you can see. I'm like super distracted by this baby, so if I'm not making any sense, I apologize. Okay guys, really quick, I wanted to give you a belly update. Emmett is right there. Can you see him? So if you hear him, and as you can see, I was just filming. Now this is what I'm looking like. Still a little lumpy. Now this shirt is tighter than I have been wearing out and about, but I thought it looked nice from the top up to film videos, so that's why I have it on. Like, I understand that this is not really that flattering. And I just have on, like, what are these called? Like lounge pants, joggers. They're kind of like sweatpants, but much, much lighter. And they just feel super comfortable to me right now. And I feel like things are starting to tighten up right here, especially like this is my rib cage. But when I pull this down, if I'm wearing like normal pants, not anything high, I still feel like pretty good, but my stomach has like, there's a lot of excess skin here. But as you can see, things are tightening up. Like, I'm not flexing or anything. This is just how things are looking. Okay, he wants to be held. He's just buzzing for no reason. In my experience, this is not going to tighten up. Like, the skin is not going to shrink back until I start incorporating some cardio, which at 1 month, I'm still not cleared to do any exercise. So I'm curious to see how fast that the skin will return to normal. But that's all I had to share with you guys today for this 1 month postpartum update. If you have any questions or suggestions, then be sure to leave those in the comments section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!